Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Deputy Chief Minister. Deputy Chief Minister, we know that Territorians expect the highest standards of integrity from their elected representatives. And I note that opposition members have spent question time this week lecturing this government on matters like integrity, transparency and appropriate conduct in public office. Yet we all know that whilst in office, Labor members, like the member for Gwoja, were engulfed in misconduct and malfeasance and presided over a deep integrity crisis. The member for Gwoja's share scandal, when he was Attorney General, the Territory's top lawmaker, obliterated public trust. Deputy Chief Minister, how does the CLP government's approach differ from the former Labor government's when the member for Gwoja was a senior minister but luckily no longer in our Northern Territory?
Deputy Chief Minister.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank the member for Karama for this important question, because I know he's a man of integrity. Madam Speaker, a minister who buys shares in a liquor wholesaler that supplies Alice Springs with liquor just 2 months before alcohol bans were lifted has an undeniable conflict of interest and lacks integrity. It demonstrates that the member for Gwoja was prepared to put his own financial interests ahead of the health and safety of Territorians, his own personal interests ahead. Madam Speaker, in just the first week after Labor allowed the Stronger Futures to lapse, there were 180 domestic violence call-outs. That's 25 an hour. No, 25 an hour. Sorry, 25 a day, which is 1 per hour, Madam Speaker. 1 call-out per hour because this Labor government failed Territorians. There are 82 reports of neglect, Madam Speaker, and 7 reports of sexual exploitation of children. In the first week, Madam Speaker, our CLP government is doing things differently. We have been open and transparent, not like the former Attorney General who brought shares in a liquor supplier just 2 months before the end of the Stronger Futures, while sitting in the Labor cabinet that made that decision. That was against the advice of peak Aboriginal organisations. It was even against the Federal Labor's Marion Scripshaw. She said it was a bad idea. Their own party. She described it as negligent to suddenly pull the pin without any protection or plan for vulnerable women and children.
Shame on you.
We all know the carnage that caused across Alice Springs, or why the member for Gwoja made money out of misery. Madam Speaker, my colleagues behind me witnessed it, and so did you, Madam Speaker, witnessed the chaos firsthand in Alice Springs. It wasn't until the Prime Minister came to Alice Springs and told the then Chief Minister how to do her job and forced Labor to do an embarrassing backflip when they did finally reinstate those alcohol bans. But sadly, Madam Speaker, sadly for many, many victims of alcohol-related assault, crime and harm, it was too little, too late. Federal Senator Jacinta Price called for the member for Gwoja to resign, and of course he didn't have the integrity to do that. She said it was sickening to hear that a Northern Territory minister who had deliberately allowed alcohol to flow where it was killing our people because it would deliver a profit to companies that he was invested in. He had shares in. And what did the Chief Minister, the then Chief Minister, 𝓿𝓪𝓵𝓾𝓮 do, Madam Speaker? Nothing. In fact, Madam Speaker, she moved to block ICAC investigations. A Labor ran a protection ran for the member for Gwoja. These are all conflict of interest, and it seems to be a theme, Madam Speaker. It just
Your time has expired, Minister.